When was the last time you watched or listened to the news? It was probably very recently. There is so much happening in the world every day, and there are so many ways to learn about what is happening. You may see a news clip on TV, read an article online, or listen to a radio show. You may even pick up a newspaper or receive a newsletter in an email. The news surrounds us, so why not combine this opportunity to stay informed with your desire to learn and improve your English? Turning into local or global news in English is an excellent and creative way to study English. අපිට තොරතුරු හම්බ වෙන මාර්ග ගොඩාක් තියෙනවා. ඒ මාර්ග අපි ඉංග්‍රීසි ඉගෙන ගන්න யூஸ் කර ගන්නවා නම් ගොඩාක්ම වටිනවා. எங்களுக்கு தகவல்கள் பெற்றுக்கிறதுக்கு நிறைய வழிகள் இருக்குது. அதை நாங்கள் அந்த வழிகளில் இங்கிலீஷை படிக்கிறதுக்கு ஒரு சான்ஸாக யூஸ் பண்ணிக்கிட்டோம்னு சொன்னால் அது ஒரு க்ரியேட்டிவ் வே டு லேர்ன் இங்கிலீஷ். So with that idea, I would like to go to today's lesson, Sources of Information, Unit 6. All the documents that we use to get information fall into one of the three categories. எல்லா டாக்குமெண்ட்ஸும் நாங்கள் தகவல்களை பெற்றுக்கிறதுக்கு இந்த 3 கேட்டகரிஸில் ஏதாவது ஒன்றுக்குள்ளே தான் போய் சேரும். ப்ரைமரி, செகண்டரி, டெர்ஷரி. හැම ඩොකියුමන්ට්ස් එකක්ම අපිට ඉන්ෆර්මේෂන් ගන්න පුළුවන් හැම ඩොකියුමන්ට්ස් එකක්ම මේ කැටගරිස් වලින් එකකට තමයි අයත් වෙන්නේ. Primary, secondary, tertiary. Primary document is a document that was written at the time of an event or period of research. Primary document කියලා කියන්නේ මොන හරි සිද්ධ වුණාම ඒ වෙලාවේදී ලියන டாக்குமெண்ட் එකට තමයි කියන්නේ primary document. ஏதாவது ஒரு நிகழ்வு ஒன்று நடந்த அப்பயே நாங்கள் ஏதாவது ஒரு டாக்குமெண்ட் ஒன்று எழுதணும்னு சொன்னால் அதை ப்ரைமரி டாக்குமெண்ட்னு சொல்லுவோம். ப்ரைமரி டாக்குமெண்ட் therefore include literary texts, letters, speeches and historical documents such as birth certificates and diaries. And most important and easiest example is bills. ප්‍රයිමරි ඩොකියුමන්ට්ස් වලට ගොඩක් එක්සැම්පල්ස් තියෙනවා. මොන හරි ස්ටඩි එකක් කරද්දී අපි ලියන ලිටරරි ටෙක්ස්ට්, ලෙටර්ස්, ස්පීචස්, බර්ත් සර්ටිෆිකට්, ඩයරිස්, பில்ஸ் හොඳම உதாரணයක් තමයි பில்ஸ். அப்போ இதுகளுக்கு உதாரணம் வந்து லிட்டரரி டெக்ஸ்ட், ஏதாவது ஒரு ரிசர்ச் செய்கிற நேரம் நாங்கள் எழுதுகிற டெக்ஸ்ட், லெட்டர்ஸ், ஸ்பீச்சஸ், ஹிஸ்டாரிக்கல் டாக்குமெண்ட்ஸ் மாதிரி இந்த பர்த் சர்டிஃபிகேட், டயரிஸ் மாதிரியான விஷயங்கள். நல்ல உதாரணம் தான் பில்ஸ். செகண்டரி டாக்குமெண்ட், it is written after an event. Usually the authors will not have witnessed the event themselves. Secondary documents කියලා කියන්නේ ඉවෙන්ට් එකක් සිද්ධ වුණාට පස්සේ ලියන එකක්. සාමාන්‍යයෙන් මේක ලියන එක්කෙනා ඒ ඉවෙන්ට් එක දැකලා එයාලා දැකලා නැහැ. செகண்டரி டாக்குமெண்ட்னு சொல்கிறது வந்து ஆத்தர்ஸ் பொதுவாக இந்த இவெண்ட் அந்த எதை பற்றி எழுதுகிறாங்களோ அந்த இவெண்ட்டை அவங்க பார்த்துருக்க மாட்டாங்க. Right? Such documents are usually written with reference to primary documents and attempt to provide an interpretation. Primary documents அடிப்படையாக வச்சு தான் இந்த மாதிரியான டாக்குமெண்ட்ஸ் வந்து எழுதுவாங்க, செகண்டரி டாக்குமெண்ட்ஸ் எழுதுவாங்க. ரைட்? primary documents ටික බේස් කරගෙන තමයි මේ secondary documents ලියන්නේ. Core text, academic text related to topic being studied are example of secondary document. And most importantly, the cash book is a secondary document. You know, in the cash book, a person is entering the double entries, but he has not seen what happened. The event is not seen by the author, the person who is entering the double entry. So that is secondary document. සාමාන්‍යයෙන් cash book එක ඒ double entry කරන එකේනා අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම එයා දන්නේ නැහැ එයා මොනවා හින්දාද ඒ double entry එක කරන්න කියන. ඉවෙන්ට් එක එයා දැකලා නැහැ. හැබැයි එයා double entry එක කරනවා. right? එතකොට ඒ cash book එක secondary document එකක්. Tertiary document. Tertiary documents usually act as pointers to primary and secondary document. They are indexes, directories, bibliographies and other categorized collection of information. Tertiary documents කියලා කියන්නේ primary and secondary documents ටික තියාගෙන අන්තිමේට publish කරන එකක් තමයි tertiary document. Bibliographies, directories, indexes ඒ වගේ දේවල් කොමර්ස් කරන කට්ටියට ගොඩක්ම පහසු වෙයි. මම balance sheet කියලා කිව්වොත් අන්තිමේට ඒක ප්‍රොඩියුස් කරන්නේ ඒක tertiary document. primary and secondary documents ටික තියාගෙන තමයි අන්තිමේට මේ balance sheet එක හදලා කම්පැනි එකක් ඉෂු කරන්නේ. එතකොට ඒක ටර්ෂරි ඩොකියුමන්ට් එකක්. நிதி கூற்றுக்கள் வந்து டெர்ஷரி டாக்குமெண்ட்னு நாங்கள் சொல்லலாம். ப்ரைமரி அண்ட் செகண்டரி டாக்குமெண்ட்ஸை பேஸாக வச்சுக்கிட்டு தான் இந்த நிதி கூற்றுக்கள் வெளியிடப்படும். அது உங்களுக்கு தெரியும். இப்போ காமர்ஸ் படிக்கிறவங்களுக்குன்னா இது ஈஸியாக இருக்கும். ரைட். ஸோ டாக்குமெண்ட்ஸ் தட் யூ கேன் டேர்ன் டு அண்ட் பி கைடட் to other potentially relevant documents on a particular subject, the tertiary document. For example, checking the bibliography of book can help to lead you to further research material or to looking at a list of similar stories on a news website, right? So tertiary documents ඔයාලට help වෙයි further studies කරන්න, right? ඒක bibliography එකක් බලාගෙන තව book එකක් refer කරලා තව ඒ ගැන research කරන්න ඔයාලට tertiary documents உதவு වෙයි. tertiary documents இப்போ bibliography மாதிரி ஒன்று பார்த்து அதில் குறிப்பிட்டிருக்க சில புக்ஸை நீங்கள் இன்னும் வாசித்து இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் உங்களுக்கு ஐடியாஸை இன்ஃபர்மேஷனை நீங்கள் அவங்களுக்கு விருத்தி செய்து கொள்ளக்கூடியதாக இருக்கும், ரைட்? ஸோ சில்ட்ரன், where to get your information? There are a lot of different sources of information available to you as students. But here, today's lesson, we are not going to cover everything. The main sources you are likely to find useful will be discussed here. So, ඔයාලට ඉන්ෆර්මේෂන් ගන්න පුළුවන් ගොඩාක් දේවල් තියෙනවා. අපි ඔක්කොම ஃபோக்கஸ் කරන්න ඔයාලට யூஸ்ஃபுல் වෙන දේවල් විතරයි අපි මෙතන බලන්නේ. உங்களுக்கு வந்து இப்போ சோர்சஸ் வந்து நிறைய இருக்குது. அது எல்லாத்தையுமே நாங்கள் பார்க்க போகிறது இல்லை. ஆஸ் அ ஸ்டூடெண்ட் உங்களுக்கு எது எது யூஸ்ஃபுல்லோ அதை பற்றி தான் பார்க்க போகிறோம். Wherever you get your information, to ensure that you conform to academic standards and rules, you should keep a note of your sources. நீங்கள் எங்கேருந்து இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் எடுத்தாலும் அதை நீங்கள் வந்து உங்கள்கிட்ட அகாடமிக் ஸ்டாண்டர்டுக்கு இருக்கா அப்படிங்கிறத நீங்கள் கன்ஃபார்ம் பண்ணிக்கிறதுக்கு நீங்கள் வந்து நோட்ஸ் வந்து எடுக்கணும். ඔයාලා කොහේ ඉඳලා ඉන්ෆර්මේෂන් ගත්තත් කමන්න ඒක කන්ෆර්ම් කරගන්න නම් ඔයාලා නෝට්ස් ගන්න ඕනේ, right? In the case of books and journals, you should take special care to note page numbers if you intend to use a quote or to paraphrase or summarize from any publication. ඔයාලා බුක් එකක් ගත්තොත් එහෙම නැත්නම් ජර්නල් එකක් ගත්තොත් ළමයි අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම page numbers ටික අපි මාක් කරලා තියාගන්න ඕනේ. මොන page එකේ තියෙන quote එකද ඔයාලා ගන්න යන්නේ essay එකට කියන එක අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම ඔයාලා record එකක් තියාගන්න ඕනේ. இப்போ நாங்கள் வந்து ஒரு புக்கை ரெஃபர் பண்ணி அதிலேருந்து ஒரு கோட் எடுக்கிற மாதிரி இருந்தால் அது எந்த பேஜில் இருந்து எடுக்கிறோம், எந்த புக்கில் இருந்து எடுக்கிறோம் அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு நோட் ஒன்று கட்டாயம் நம்ம எடுத்துக்கணும். ஃபார் இன்டர்நெட் சோர்சஸ் யூ நீட் அட்லீஸ்ட் the URL, web address, as well as the date that you accessed any web page from which you quote or to which you refer. එක ඉන්ටර්නෙට් සෝසස් එකක් නම් URL ඒ කියන්නේ வெப் அட்ரஸ் එක ඔයාලා மென்ஷன் කරන්න ඕනේ. இப்போ நீங்கள் வந்து இன்டர்நெட்டில் இருந்து ஏதாவது ஒரு விஷயம் எடுத்தீங்களா இருந்தால் அந்த URL-ல நீங்கள் வெப் அட்ரஸை மென்ஷன் பண்ணணும், right? And also children, I have heard your IT sir telling this word plagiarism is a serious academic offense. So if you are not telling, or if you ignore to tell from which book or from which website you are taking certain notes, then that is called plagiarism. It is a copy, right? So it is very important to avoid plagiarism. So you have to mention from which URL or else from which book, which page you are taking an information, right? ඔයාලා avoid කරගන්න ඕනේ plagiarism. මේක ඔයාලා IT class එකේත් ඉගෙනගෙන ඇති. copy කරන්න එක හච්චර හරින. එහෙම copy කරනවා නම් මේ page එකේ ඉඳලා මේ quote එක මම ගත්තේ කියලා අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම කියන්න ඕනේ. ඒක avoid කරගන්න තමයි අපි අර බැලුවේ books එහෙම නැත්නම් URL web address එක mention කරන්න ඕනේ කියලා අපි කිව්වේ, right? Okay, so let's look at the sources one by one. Library sources, internet sources, and apart from these, there are sources like you from your friends also you can get information. So when we look at the library sources, it is often possible to go to a physical library without being a member and to search through the shelves and access publications and other resources. If you are studying at a college or university, you are likely to have access to their library. Library එකේ ගිහින් පොතක් අරගෙන shelf එකේ හොයලා resources ගන්න පුළුවන් අපිට. ඒක හොඳම රිසෝස් එකක් තමයි අපිට. එතකොට ලයිබ්‍රරි එකේ තියෙන රිසෝසස් තමයි ඔයාලගේ පොතේ තියෙන්නේ. encyclopedia, books, newspapers, magazine මේ වගේ දේවල් එහෙම library sources. Internet sources, there is a phenomenal amount of information available online via web pages, blogs, forums, social media, catalog, and so on. As there is so much information available, and because such information can be published quickly and easily by anybody and at any time, it is important that you are vigilant in choosing reliable sources. එතකොට ඉන්ටර්නෙට් සෝසස් ගැන ගත්තොත් අපි ගොඩාක් දේවල් තියෙනවා. වෙබ් පේජ් තියෙනවා, ඔන්ලයින් සෝසස් තියෙනවා, බ්ලොග්ස් තියෙනවා, ෆෝරම්ස් තියෙනවා, සෝෂල් මීඩියා, ෆේස්බුක්, ඊමේල් වගේ දේවල්. ඒවා එහෙම සෝෂල් මීඩියා, ඒ වගේම කැටලොග්ස් තියෙනවා, ඒ වගේ ගොඩාක් දේවල් තියෙනවා. එතකොට ඔක්කොම ගන්න නැතුව කවුරු වුණත් එකේ පේස්ට් කරන්න පුළුවන්. කොයි වෙලාවෙ වුණත් පේස්ට් කරන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි අපි ගොඩාක් පරිස්සම් වෙන්න ඕනේ. කෝකද හරි කියලා බලලා ரிலையபிள் சோர்சஸ் வழிங்க இந்தல வித்தராக் அப்படி இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் கන්න ඕනේ. இப்போ இன்டர்நெட்னு சொன்னால் யார் வேணாலும் எப்போ வேணாலும் எவ்வளோ இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் வேணாலும் பேஸ்ட் பண்ணலாம். ஆனால் நாங்கள் தெரிஞ்சுக்கணும் எது சரி அப்படின்னு எடுத்து யூஸ் பண்ணுறதுக்கு. இப்போ இந்த புக்கில் வந்து கொடுத்துருக்கிறது வந்து ஆன்லைன் லைப்ரரி கேட்டலாக்ஸ், வெப்சைட்ஸ், தீஸ் ஆர் ஆல் internet sources. So use good judgment and common sense when researching online. Whether or not a source is appropriate or useful will largely depend on your area of study. Okay, children? So we are going to learn about the advantage and disadvantage of using the sources from the internet in the coming lesson, so that children, it is very easy. There's nothing much in this lesson. I hope through this video I was able to give you some information about sources of information. So get some idea and complete activity 1, 2, 3 is a speaking activity, and 4, which is you have to interpret a paragraph into you are given an essay about newspaper. You have to take it as an example and you have to write your own paragraph about books with the information given. And children, next one is you are given a table. You are going to write a paragraph. You are going to interpret it. And then activity 6, you have to write about your own information. So up to activity 6, it is very simple. You can do all the activities. So activity 9, we are going to discuss about the advantage and disadvantages of internet, right? So up to that you can do all these activities. Thank you and may God bless you.